Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today is Saturday, November 14th, 2020, and you are watching Tarot with Kuka. I'm super excited because, as you know, we are still within Scorpio season, and as a Scorpio, I start falling in love with everything about the weather. We're getting out of the hot summer. The fall, depending on where you are. Sometimes you have the fall season, sometimes you go straight into winter. So like I say, this is a very exciting time. And so what I have here is I have our weekly guidance that will consist of the guidance with the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead Tarot deck from created by Fabio Listrani, followed by the moon guidance, which is through the Moonology Oracle card deck by Yasmin, Boland. And also this week we are utilizing the Ascended Masters deck that was created by Doreen Virtue. Although she no longer uses her oracle cards, I still find those cards to have awesome messages, and so there is an Ascended Master who's willing to work with us this week, as well as loving words from the Healing Mantra deck by Kahn. So without further ado, let's get started. So remember folks, if you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. So our first card is our guidance, and I got to be super careful. And as you can see, we have the Scorpio. So with this card, we have the Three of Wands. And I love the artwork on here. And so as you know, the Three of Wands tends to represent our passion. And so in the Santa Muerte deck, we utilize the advice of the dead. And so the advice of the dead with the Three of Wands is, in this moment, you do not require the help of anyone. Proceed with energy towards the new creation. And so this is really kind of cool because, it's, this card is, the Three of Wands, it's a passion. And, if you look at that picture, it is, of course, it's, we're dealing with kind of like a Dia de los Muertos theme, but, it looks like it's a bird that's about to take flight. Let me see if I can do this without dropping the card. But so if you look in here, this little bird is carrying a book. It's hard, I'm trying to focus in, but the book is titled a book of Virtues. And so what really stood out with me about this particular message with the cards is something new, something exciting is on the horizon for us. If you notice behind the bird, we have thickets, we have thorns. To me, that represents kind of like the harsh times that we have gone through. We've walked through these thickets, and we're now in the clearing. This bird is standing on a foundation of three skulls, in which three red skulls with the flowers, or it looks like celery flowers to me, but these flowers which represent the wands, the passion. The foundation of the skulls to me represents carrying our past. Not so much carrying our past, but the basis of our foundations are the things that we have learned from our past, whether they've been mistakes or successes. These are the things that are going to help us go forward. And it's within this foundation of our successes and our failures that kind of help us write the book of virtues. How full is this book? It's very important when we start our new endeavor, we start new and fresh, and and definitely virtuous. And keeping within that virtue, it does allow that path to stay clear and those thickets stay behind us, ensuring, a whole new successful endeavor. And the funny thing about with the advice of the dead is, it's, in this moment, you do not require the help of anyone. Proceed towards energy. The interesting thing here, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a lesson with this tarot card, is in the traditional tarot, this is card number 25. And so with 5, you have change. With the number 2, there's optimism. So combining the 2 and the 5, for 25, it's being optimistic about the changes that are coming before us. And then, as 25 further breaks down with numerology into 7, which is basically telling us we are on our right path. We're on the divine right path with this, especially as long as we keep our virtues intact and go forward with our virtues. So with this, with this card, it's very good news. And so, with the card, with the number 7, again, like what really pops out is, the divine. And, you have the advice of the dead that's telling you to go forward, without requiring the help. But, I think sometimes through trial and error, maybe it is best to go forward and, try it out for yourself and see how things are working out for you. But like I say, there's always guidance. And so let's transition to card number 2. And I'm going to try to do this carefully because it's very... All right. So we now have another passion card. This is very interesting. So we have the King of Wands in the reverse position. And so, as you know, with our kings in every suit, they tend to be at the full maturity. They've gained the experience, they've gone through some stuff, as you can see from the Three of Wands, and they have knowledge, they have maturity, they know what's up. So with the King of Wands, we have the advice of the dead, which is follow. And this is going to be very interesting here because check this out. So with this card, you have follow the advice of a strong person in whom you trust without fear. And this will be particularly remunerative and rewarding. So you actually have one card that's saying go at it alone. And then you have the same advice saying ask for help. Is this conflicting? No. It seems like it, but no. Like I said, about this new endeavor, one of the things is about us going forward on our own journey, taking that first, only we can take that first step alone. So now we transition to this king, where this king is a leader. Now, the thing that I've always understood about a good leader is a good leader will know when it's time to seek wise counsel. So even though the advice of the dead seems to be giving conflicting information, do it alone, you do not need to ask. It's yes, in this moment, take that first baby step alone, fearlessly. But when you come to the realization and the time, ask for help. And the biggest thing that really kind of steps out, because like I said, if you look at the king in reverse, it's a very negative message in the sense, in traditional tarot, it's about manipulation. It's about the king becoming an untrustworthy figure. So we don't, I don't like talking about the negativity. So the positive thing about this message with our king in the reverse position is about the inner truth. So the king here has his inner truth. That's why he's in the reverse position. But with that, how much of that inner truth that you hold within you aligns with your virtue? There was a lot of inner truths in the past, in history, that, have now come out as, racism, narcissistic behavior. So put a check on your inner truth. Where does it stand with virtues? Gauge it. That's what a wise king will do. And a wise king will know when to ask for help, because also is your inner truth, your stubbornness, in the sense like, I don't need help ever. And you're not realizing that you do need it, and it's okay to ask for help. So again, understand that even though like currently you may be in such a difficult situation, you feel like this is hopeless, look at the big picture. The ugliness of your past, the thickets and the thorns that you came through are now behind you. There is a new endeavor waiting for you. And it's about finding your passion, taking your lessons with you, and taking flight. Do you notice how this time, how it differs from the Six of Swords, where you had the swords in the boat weighing you down? That's not the case here. It is your growth. It is time for you to take flight and get going and be successful. And it is whatever you want to do. And you have the help available. You have the divine universe. You have God, who has a whole slew of angels and whatnot, ascended masters, angels, archangels, spirit guides, guardian angels. You have the universe of abundance willing to help you. Just ask. It's all you got to do. It's that simple. So with that, let's move forward to kind of like my exciting message here, because again, we are coming to a new moon in Scorpio tomorrow. And as you know, new moons are all about wishes and all about putting your intent for, what is it? A brand new start. And we have a new moon in Scorpio. So this is my moon, people. Scorpios, remember, we were made on Valentine's Day to rule the world. Okay, so with the new moon in Scorpio, the message on the card, let me bring the card up. Gotta do this carefully. Okay, so our new moon in Scorpio is work through your fears. What? How does this relate to the tarot cards? Oh, taking flight, working through your fears, going forward, and taking that first step on your own. It's that simple. We just got to get through our fears. That's the only thing holding us back. And you know where our fears are? In our head. How easy is that to overcome? It's not even a brick wall. It's not even an empirical obstacle. It is simply in our heads. And all we got to do is let go of that fear. And it looks like the universe wants to provide. So taking the message from the new moon in Scorpio, one of the things about this situation that came from the guidebook, and it was one message that really resonated with me out of the guidebook, out of everything, was this card actually represents a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Hello, we're going back to the Three of Wands, passion, fire. And what do we have here in our picture? A bird standing on top of skulls, rising out of the ashes. So, again, with Scorpio energy right now going on, Scorpios, we tend to kind of, we kind of dwell into the shadow side. And one of the things that I look at is, I no longer fear the shadow. And sometimes, again, we have to walk through the shadows and to bring, to help those and help others, come out into the light. But Scorpios, we aren't afraid of the shadow. It's what we do. It's what we are. So, one of the, it cracks me up because the message on the guidebook with the attunement for the Scorpio moon is to have some sexy time. Yeah, that's a Scorpio. So let's go into the teaching of the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, and even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpios demand it. Oh, yeah. So, in fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get into the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any time suggests you need to do now. And again, people, the stigmatism about the shadow is, we look at it as being, this is pure evil, this is the devil, we all have a shadow within us. There's a yin and a yang. That's what the universe is about. It's about the balance. It's how we integrate the shadow. It doesn't necessarily mean you go out and worship the devil or do evil things. It just simply means we acknowledge sometimes our dark side, our moodiness, or, but it brings us balance. So let's see what the message from the new moon Scorpio is, because, as always, I have a guidance card from the moon. Love it! So what we have here is a full moon in Cancer, in which we have another water sign. But we now have, again, the yang. We have light and dark. Hello. So the full moon in Cancer is a personal issue reaches resolution. So this is a very interesting card because, again, it's now kind of telling us we're coming to another end of a difficult situation. Perhaps things that have been holding us back have been either conflicts. You remember we had the Two of Swords last week, and that tends to be about conflicts and arguments that we're maybe avoiding or just not kind of getting things out and healing. So whatever it is that has been holding you back, the pain, whatever it is, whether it be emotional or even real to you, or even you are literally surrounded in a difficult situation, your issue is going to come to a resolution. And like I say, the universe has your back, and the tarot cards are telling you that a new positive change is coming. It's like I say, it's up to us when we're ready to get over our fears and take our first steps alone, and then being willing to ask for help. So awesome message from the moon. Like I say, my Scorpio, love it. Scorpios are always out to rule the world. Okay, so let's move on to our Ascended Master. Who is willing to work with us, and what is the message behind our Ascended Master wanting to work with us? So I was actually guided today to go with the Ascended Master deck, which is no longer in print. I had this deck back in the day and I lost it. And now it seems like because it's no longer in print, this deck is actually selling for triple digits. So I actually went with the Chinese knockoff deck. It's still just as good. I love the deck. It's just a forewarning. It does come with a QR code that I understand kind of has some malware that can invades your phone. So do not use a QRS code on the box for the guidebook. The guidebook is available on YouTube and other places. So be safe, people. But again, the cards are still just as good. So our Ascended Master today, wow, this is really cool. This is a very powerful card. It's a twin flame. So if you know what a twin flame is actually a relationship that is actually more intense than your typical soulmate relationship. You two are literally you two coming together completes you. It's kind of like that person in the universe that you've been calling to, and people kind of say, well, it's getting harder and harder to find your twin flame. But at the same time, if you both have that beacon, you will find each other. And the funny thing is, one of the like a lot of people will ask, well, is so and so my twin flame? If you gotta ask, the answer is no, because with your twin flame, they're the one. So whether you're looking for somebody, your twin flame is coming. And like I say, if you have that relationship and you're blessed, twin flame relationships, sometimes, you feel like it's all unicorns and rainbows and romance, it's intense. Either way, it becomes intense, where you feel your partner's energy to the point where you automatically just absorb it. So that intensity of, intense love, intense emotions, whether it's anger. So again, that's the flip side. The deeper the romance, the deeper, sometimes conflicts. So twin flame relationships are very intense, so be prepared. So the Ascended Master associated with this twin flame card is, I believe, I'm going to go with, this is Celtic, so I am by far not Celtic. I'm going to go with Aengus. So this is an interesting story. I read up on it because the guidebook that I found, or the guidebook, does not do the story justice. So in the guidebook, this person saw a beautiful maiden named Kahn, and fell deeply in love with her. He discovered that she was bound to swans by chain, and so he transformed himself into a swan to forever be bound with her, because that was his twin flame. He found his twin. The story that I found online was far more beautiful, far more detailed. Aengus was a very he was well attuned to, he was a very powerful person. In fact, I think it seemed like his own father was kind of threatened by his abilities. So he from Ireland. So the story of him and his twin flame actually go a little deeper, where, he actually knew about her in a dream, and he was so drawn to her that he literally went out to go and seek her and find her. So it's a beautiful story. I do recommend, I'll see if I can put the link on this particular story on the website, on my channel. Check it out. But so what I am getting here is that Aengus is here to work with us if you're a single person, call upon Aengus to help guide you, to connect you with your twin flame. If you are blessed and are in that twin flame relationship, Aengus is here to help heal with possible some conflicts or things that need to be resolved between you two. So there's help for healing in your relationship, which leads us into our final card of the day, which is our Healing Mantra deck by Kahn. And it cracks me up because like I say, I don't make this up. I draw cards and I just put them there. Liberating love. So the theme is love and letting go of fear. What a beautiful concept this week. So let's see what our words are for today. Let's see if I can get this in focus. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. Wow. So you kind of think about, how does this reflect upon liberating love? So a relationship is about giving and receiving, correct? One of the best advice that I received about making marriage work, it's not about the perfect balance of 50-50. It's about the balancing of the imbalance. So if you give your partner 70% and expect 30%, and your partner does the same, you both will never want or need or expect. And expectations in a relationship also kind of can cause failure. Well, I expected you to understand what I was saying. No. If your partner misunderstands you, explain it in a different way. Let go of expectations, for one thing, in your relationship. So it's about the balancing of that imbalance. You give 70%, expect 30%, when you expect less to come back to you, and yet when that person's giving you 70%, that's like icing on the cake. So that's how that imbalance works out. And it really kind of intunes to this: I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. Because a lot of times a giver has a hard time receiving things and doesn't like things being done for them or given to them. And so it creates a very weird imbalance. So part of that, part of this is learning to give and receive blessings and love and abundance. So let's take a reading out of the guidebook, because like I say, I love how Matt Kahn put things into perspective. So I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. When love is liberated, your heart remains open to all the gifts that life has to offer. Healing the heart. As love is liberated from the emotional wounds of human condition, it becomes easy to accept, forgive, and receive. When such actions seem exhausting, it's simply a sign that your heart doesn't feel safe enough to remain open. When this occurs, your will's freedom to embrace each tender corner of your conscience will allow opening up to resume. When the heart has permission to open, your love is liberated, and you can shine a light into all levels of reality to awaken the truth of all. Again, don't be afraid to open your heart. That's one of the first steps of attracting your twin flame. If you're seeking a twin flame, and if you already had that twin flame and you're currently hurt, open your heart. Allow that person to love you, because I doubt they ever even stopped loving you. Open yourself back up to love. So this mantra is ideal for learning how to believe in yourself, promoting self-realization, and integrating the shadow. Scorpios love the shadow. So again, it seems like there's connectivity in all of this. So go forward with your passion. Take that first step alone, but realize when it's time to ask for help, and know that once you open up your heart, your twin flame will come like a moth to a light. So with that, my beautiful souls, I just want to say, love yourselves first before you start loving others. And with that, I want to send you love, light, and many, many blessings. Take care.